Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth, and I'm back again today doing a live tarot reading for everyone. This is because I wanted to check, to see what the energies were going to be for Saturn going into the sign of Pisces, March 7th, 2023. Before I jump in, I do want to let everybody know that I am still partnering with Jackery. I also am still, excuse me, getting over not being well, so I'm a little bit froggy still. But I also am still doing private readings, so if you'd like to book a private reading, you can book one through my website, oracledaphne.com. And if you'd like to donate, all the links to donate are below in the description box, whether that's PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. The light in here today is really interesting. It's very bright, but also like there's like clouds and stuff, so it's kind of hard a little bit to actually look at the camera because it's so bright. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on with me and the channel. So I am going to pull cards. I may pull some charms just to see what I get. I was kind of inspired today. I listened to a lot of country music and Dierks Bentley. I was listening to Dierks Bentley, and one of his songs, there's a song that he has that just always kind of re-inspires me and puts the fire back under my butt to do more, and reminds me of why I came to Ellensburg in the first place and what I'm really all about right now. So, I wanted to pull some cards just to see what messages we get. I do want to say that when Saturn, or when any planet is about to change signs, to me, like, that is the toughest time. So like the last degrees of any sign, in my opinion, it's the toughest. So it's sort of like where everyone's about to turn this corner, and also spring is coming. Spring is almost here. So I feel like there's a kind of emergence kind of happening with people and with the energy, and I'm just interested to see what messages come through today for everybody. This is collective message for everybody. I'm recording this, I think today is the 13th. Yeah, today's the 13th. So I'm just gonna jump in and lay out some cards, and kind of just go from there and see what I get for everyone. I feel like some of you are going to be letting go of something, like dropping the ball on something. This is a great time to do that because, we have all this, new spring energy coming that is going to kind of refresh everyone, I think, a little bit. So, oh, I forgot to check my audio. There we go. Okay. So yeah, so there's gonna be some kind of, there is some kind of letting go. This is so strange. The energy seems very, I don't know what the word would be, like wishy-washy. We definitely have the spring energy. We have the Queen of Swords in reverse, which to me is like, like your heart kind of melting, or like the coldness in a relationship melting, or just to me this is like the return of a warmth, or being in like a heart, having like doing things from a heart-based place. The fact that it's here though, there is something about maybe cycles or patterns with some of you where for some of you, you may have had like a cold multiple times, just like just like me, or you may be dealing with a person who's can be cold. There's a coldness. The Queen of Swords to me is cold. So, you may be living in a place where it has not yet warmed up yet, and you're still kind of dealing with the cold. Could be snow, could be ice, could be wind. I'm seeing all of those. So like in some way, some of you are still kind of dealing with like the winter elements. Sorry, my camera. It's so bright. Like all of a sudden it became like super bright in here. Okay, so I also feel like there's issues with money for some of you. There's been issues with money. I feel like there's a pocket of positive cards regarding money. The Ace of Cups to me is the drop of promise later down the line in time. But then we also have the Three of Swords and the Eight of Swords together. To me, that's some ending. That's like an ending of sorts. So some of you are, going through this kind of time where there's a lot going on. We have the Knight of Swords, the Four of Wands, the Fool. To me, that's all about action. The Fool to me is like planes, trains, and automobiles. So some of you would be taking a trip, flying somewhere specifically. Maybe it's to go visit friends or family, or to go on vacation or do something with the partner. For some, there's like a romantic element, rekindling, it's kind of a romantic trip for someone that's watching. The Four of Wands, again, to me, is a card about romance. It's new romance. So for some of you, like romance is going to be a theme. I feel like this is specific to those of you who are in a partnership. I don't know. This could be a singles thing. You could meet someone like at like a live event. Also where there's like live music. But the Four of Wands to me is also like exercising. It's exercising, it's going outside, it's being active. So to me, it's like leading up to this Six of Pentacles as the outcome. We have this, all this action. And I almost don't really know what to make of it. Some of you are just really busy. And that's the energy for those of you who are watching, like you're just really busy. And I almost feel like a little bit out of breath, reading this. And it's funny because I feel like the energy in general is a little bit breathless right now. That's just my interpretation of it. Does that mean everybody's gonna feel that way? No, that's my interpretation of the energy. It's kind of breathless. Let me see what else. There is some element of loss, and I don't know where that's coming from, or when that's going to happen for those of you that are watching. This could be someone that that's not well. I feel like this came up in one of my other readings. This could be also within a partnership if you have, a partner or boyfriend or girlfriend, some element of loss or, like saying goodbye to someone. I do see like a goodbye. I definitely see we have the Tower, the Three of Swords, the Eight of Swords. To me, that is very much a goodbye. And it might be difficult to I don't know, to process all that's going on. You know, when you break up with someone, you go through like all these emotions of or you go no contact with someone, you know, you go through like a kind of time of shock and grief and disappointment that it didn't work out. I feel like those of you who are going to be going through that kind of time, I feel like you're going to really refocus on your career or focus on your goals after maybe you take a little bit of time out or alone time. I feel like that's what's going to happen. Huh. Okay, so there's some interesting messages coming through. There is something about having an empty nest. Number one, there's also something about like the fertility journey for someone who's listening or watching, like maybe wanted to get pregnant, um, you know, maybe doing IVF or considering IVF, or just being at a place in your life where you want to have a child. I feel like there's something coming through very strongly about that. I also feel there's something about living out of the void. Um, some of you are living out of a void or just feel like there's a lot of emptiness in your life, whether that's emptiness within a partnership or emptiness in your life because of you know, whatever, you know, it is that you feel like you lack. Maybe it's a feeling of like you don't have what you want or you don't have what you need. Living out of a void can be a very challenging energy to be in, especially if you've been in it for some time. If you have had any issues with family or issues with friends where there's not a lot there, a lot of support there, people can live out of the void. They can do things from the void, which is a very kind of broken place to be because it's not from a place like when people don't feel like they have what they need, they get very upset. And then if they don't have what they need for an extended period of time, they become broken individuals because they don't have any hope that things are going to get better or change. And then in this brokenness, they can what's called kind of fall into the void or live from the void in a way where when you're living from a void, you're operating from a place of lack, or you're operating from a place of I don't have what I need, or you're operating from a place of just kind of scraping by or just trying to do the basics or just living day to day. You're not living in a place of fullness or of abundance or of hope. You're living in a place of lack and sorrow and just despair. So some of you are have this like showing up here in the energy. Does not necessarily mean it's always going to be like this, but I definitely feel like for some of you, the energy is present, you know, about this void. Some of you are dealing with someone. There's a person in your life that's incredibly stubborn, and they're being incredibly stubborn. I don't feel like this is you. I feel like this is someone in your life that's incredibly stubborn. And there may be like a lack of connection with this person, or this person may be in the void themselves. Like they may have had a very difficult childhood. Didn't we all? Or just didn't feel like they had what they needed. So they operate from a place of void. They operate from a place of lack. They operate from a place of control. And all of this stuff that's like their their pain and their brokenness, they're really carrying around. Like they're not really even thinking about letting that go. Like they really just are in a place of, you know, like resistance, stubbornness. If it's not their way, it's not going to work, kind of thing. And all of this energy about the void to me, like, is really holding this person back. If you're dealing with this yourself, then I feel like you are, I don't know, held back in some way, only because of this energy. Some of you may want to do like some cord cutting or like visualizing, detaching from somebody, from a specific person or specific people. I definitely feel like there's some limiting elements, like restrictive elements. We have both the Eight of Swords as well as this card that's showing up that's kind of, I don't know, I'm getting a lot of messages from it. So to me, it's all very Eight of Swords energy. And the Eight of Swords, is like one of my least favorite cards, but the Eight of Swords does push us to figure out to pace our life. So it's like some of us don't really know how to pace. We don't know when to run, when to push hard, and when to kind of fall back and pause. It's kind of like this, like a game element to it. Some of you may be interested in sports, or you just, very caught up into sports strategy and things like that. But essentially there's this element of life where not every day can we push forward, and not every day can we spend all day in bed and pretend that life isn't going to do its thing, So it's like there's this push-pull between rest and being active. There's a push-pull between knowing when to pause and when to really push forward. I do feel like there's some negative elements. There's some negativity coming through. The Eight of Swords is it's a card to me that's about psychic attack. That's about negative energy being sent your way. So some of you may need to watch some videos about returning stuff to sender, some releasing some cords, releasing some negativity. That's what I see for some of you, not for everyone. You generally see if it comes through a crone. When this comes up, it comes through a crone. So this is an old woman. This is an old, bitter woman. This can come through an old, jealous, bitter woman where there's a lot of resentment. But usually I don't see this as male energy. I see this as old crone, old woman energy. So you're going to know who this is. I feel like the crone energy is strong because they've lost someone. To me, it's like the crone becomes the crone when they lose a partner. They become the crone when they are single at 75, okay? When they're single at 80, when they're alone and they're resentful and they're bitter and they haven't really processed their positive things in life. Some of you need to be very careful that you're not going in that direction, okay? Some of you, I was actually thinking about doing another inspiring video, because I want people to really latch onto what's going to inspire them and try to really work on that this spring, rather than falling down this rabbit hole of bitterness and resentment. I feel like if you do, let's just say you did fall down a rabbit hole of maybe depression or anxiety, I feel like you're going to come out of it. I feel like there is this energy of breaking out of it or coming out of it maybe later in time. I don't feel like you're going to stay that way forever. I feel like there's going to be a shift. I was thinking about this recently. Oh my gosh. Okay, so again, when we have Saturn in Aquarius, it's at the very end, it can be very challenging because it's like the energy really, really needs to move into Pisces. And Pisces, to me, it's like that water, that flow energy that brings us to the spring. Okay. Aquarius, everything is still kind of locked and stuck and ice. So for some of you, you may feel very stuck, or you may feel like, things aren't moving forward in a smooth way, or that you're just trying to break through somewhere. And I feel like some of you are going to have that happen. I feel like later in time, there's a blossoming happening. There's a breakthrough happening. I feel like that's going to come. I feel like, again, as the energy shifts into Pisces, How much time do we have left? Let's see when does the sun move into Pisces? On Saturday the 18th. So this is the last week. So again, this week might be challenging for some of you. Those of you who are watching later in time, you just might be going through some stuff, where it's difficult to navigate. Or it's difficult to kind of get into like a flow or get into something that's going to feel good. Like, to me, there's a lot of harmony. You have like the dolphin energies that are this blue dolphin energy that's coming up for later in time. Two of them together. So anytime that happens to me, and that to me is the element of water. So I feel like there's going to be some flow later in time. That's what I see. Let me check the chat, make sure. Don't see any live messages. Okay. I'm gonna pull some other cards and see what I get for these messages. I feel like some of you, this is not going to be applicable for everybody. I feel like some of you are being really tested right now. Like whether it's your resources or whether it's, inflation or whether it's within a relationship. I feel like there's some element of being tested. And this is very difficult to navigate sometimes because you might feel like for some of you, you might feel like you're being tested in a lot of different ways. Like it's not just one way. It's being tested in different ways. So, I feel like the message is to kind of keep, keep reaching. That's what I want to say. Keep reaching for things, and keep like sort of like an upward momentum. I would also work on your vibration. Make sure that keeping your vibration high. We have this interesting card. This is in my forget what deck this is, but you can see here there's this worm that's climbing up this mushroom. It's like all these mushrooms on this tree. And the way I see it is I see like slow progress, slow steps to progress. Some of you taking steps, and it might feel like you're not even getting anywhere. This is from this deck, the Herbiary deck. Yeah, like I feel like some of you are being really tested, and like whatever steps you're taking seem small or seem like insignificant. The thing about this card also feels like you're defying the odds. Like you're able to do things despite whatever odds are against you. This to me is overcoming challenges. So I feel like there's a positive message in all of this, is that I feel like for those of you who may have a lot of challenges at this time, and it doesn't even matter what it is, it feels like there's like a sense of overcoming challenges. Some of you are staying up very late, and you're kind of like your body is like giving you signs and signals, and you're kind of defying like what your body is telling you. Some of you, it's like some of you may have allergies, but you won't give up the cat, okay? Or some of you have food allergies, but you won't give up the chocolate or the ice cream. There's a defiance here. There's a defiance about, and also, I'm just going to say this, there's a little bit of defiance about I want to say the pandemic. And there's a defiance about, or defiance, To me, I don't know how to articulate this, but it's like a defiance in accepting how things really are. You know, to me, it's like in this image, the worm is so focused on climbing up these steps that everything else is sort of like distorted. Things appear smaller and bigger to this person. So I don't know, you may be a person where, you know, small things, small piggy shit really gets to you at this time. And some of you, like the big stuff, doesn't faze you. The beauty of having that is like when you don't get fazed by the big stuff, then you're able to kind of roll with things in a way other people might not. And other people might be freaking out, but you're kind of just rolling with it. But the problem with over focusing on the picky stuff, the tiny little irritating things in life or little details of things that don't matter, is that mountains can get made out of molehills, but also there's a perspective thing that happens that needs some adjusting. I do want to do a special video regarding the divine feminine and divine masculine, and kind of look at both like what's going on with the divine masculine and what's going on with the divine feminine. Those of you who are, you know, in kind of like a longer journey with soulmate, twin flame, things like that, and want to know about that. I've been wanting to do that kind of video for some time, so I may do that. Going back to this whole thing, yeah, so like there's a perspective thing. This card specifically reminds me of, like, I think it's the Page of Pentacles, or the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is like riding through a forest on this worm type thing. And by the time they have such tunnel vision, by the time they get to wherever it is they're going, everything's changed. So they're not paying attention to, like, this is the card here. This is the card that I'm talking about. They're not paying attention to what time it is, what day it is, things in the periphery. They don't see things coming. They are very overly focused on the details of life, the details, whether it's little things or it could be like little things that they have to do within their life. Yeah. Or it's just a kind of like a tunnel vision kind of thing. It's like, to me, it's a tunnel vision kind of energy. I have to get a sip of my tea. Hang on just a second. I still have like this, I don't know, post-nasal drip or whatever. It's driving me crazy. Okay, so that's what I see for this card and this Knight of Pentacles. The resistance and the defiance has to do with not wanting to be in reality. To me, this is like wanting to check out of reality. Wanting to, you know, there's a strong Pisces element here. The sun goes into Pisces, it's going to become even stronger. So I would really caution everybody. I would caution everybody. This is, to me, like a caution, because these mushrooms are red, and to me, anytime I see red, I think red flags. So it's like some of you may not see red flags or be paying attention to the signs. Some of you may be just very caught up in your work week, having tunnel vision about getting to, you know, to and from work, or having tunnel vision about getting things done. There's also something coming to me about like this spinning energy. This Knight of Pentacles, to me, has a very not necessarily OCD, but he can, and I say he, could be also she, energy of like going, and then just like crap. You know, when I say, I don't like to use that word, resting. Okay, going, and then resting, and like not having any energy at all. So again, the element of pacing here is coming kind of up with this card. Maybe see what other messages want to come through. Some of you are at this time maybe going to want to spend a lot of time at home, or you're going to be spending a lot more time at home than maybe you want to. You know, like I feel like there's two things that are going to be calling to you. One, I feel like the element of travel for some of you is going to kind of be pulling you. I feel like either in the direction is east, going east somewhere. But I also feel like you might be pulled to kind of stay at home. You also might be pulled to spend a lot of time maybe in the woods or out in nature or in a park somewhere. Some of you do study like astrology, so you're very into astrology as well. But yeah, to me, like there's this element of retreat. It's weird because we have these other energies of maybe climbing the ladder, trying to get ahead, but then also this energy of maybe like wanting to spend time at home or like not really wanting to go out too much. There's a lot of stuff that to me it shows me that there's a lot of PTSD showing up here. PTSD. Some of you may just have a little bit of PTSD from life, or you may be just spending during this time a lot more time at home. And some of you need to go out more. Some of you do need to go out and be outside and do more things that are active maybe within your community if you have like a community where you live. So fascinating. For those of you a long time ago who probably didn't watch this video that I did, there's a video that I did about a psychic bridge, creating a psychic bridge. A psychic bridge, and just for those of you who don't know, a psychic bridge is where you don't really know how you're going to get from where you are to where you want to be. Like there's nothing necessarily connecting those two dots. Like maybe like your dream is to go, I don't know, become a professional ice skater, but you've never maybe you're taking some classes, but there's a lot of distance, time, energy, and effort to get to your future self, to get to that point where you're maybe competing professionally. Let's just say as an example. For myself, it's, wanting to have a house, wanting to have my own garden, wanting to have my own space with furniture and maybe get a dog and a rabbit. Those are my okay, like that's my future self. Like my future self wants those things or has those things. So, but in life, sometimes it's hard for us to kind of picture how we're going to get there and what we're going to do to get there. And the funny thing is that sometimes there are things that block us in life from getting there. Like sometimes, technically, we don't even have to really think about it or worry about it too much because we're going to get there. It's not something where we have to worry. But for some people, it can feel like they're blocked from getting to where they want, or blocked, their dreams are blocked for whatever reason. And it's important to create what I call a psychic bridge between yourself and your future self. And the psychic bridge is literally a space that's protected and that's created by you, where you visualize an actual, like a bridge, where there's a lot of positive energy. And it sort of like in some way creates in the spiritual world a connection between you, your past self, and your future self, between yourself and what you want to have. And nothing can touch that. So even if let's just say you're heavily blocked from getting to whatever it is that you want, psychic attack or otherwise, there's always going to be that bridge there. And the funny thing about this is that the card that talks about the psychic bridge that I was working on a long time ago, with clients especially, is coming up here. And it's funny because in some way, this time in February, where the sun is still in Aquarius and Saturn is still in Aquarius, and it's still very like, how are we going to get from point A to point B? How are we going to get to the spring? For some people, it doesn't even feel like the spring is coming, But I have to tell you, the fact that this card is coming up, I feel like some of you are going. Sorry, this is getting me emotional. You're going to reach your potential. You're going to reach your dreams. Like, your dreams are going to come true, whether you think about that whether you believe that or not. Because at this time, there's nothing that's stopping you. There's nothing stopping you from becoming what you want to become, from manifesting your dreams, from having what it is that you want. And I feel like some of you need to hear that, because you might have felt at times that maybe you weren't going to achieve, or you weren't going to have the things that you wanted to have. And I truly think that I should do like a whole nother video about manifesting, because I do think that there's people that can manifest very, very easily what they want, but they also don't have so much that works against them. And then, but when you have so much that works against you, you become a lot stronger, which then helps you to help other people work on manifesting their dreams and things like that. So it's kind of a win-win-win. I don't know. It's hard to explain it, but yeah, I feel like there's you might have felt that there's things that have been blocking you, but I don't feel like those are going to be blocking you anymore. Now this might just be for a few people, but for some of you, it's going to really make a difference. So just hearing it, that you're going to be able to reach your goals, and you're going to be able to have the things that you want to have in life. I'm also seeing a lot of positive shifts and weights lifting off of your back. So for some of you, if this has been a very burdensome time, you're going to be going through a period of time which is just not so heavy. That's what I see here. I think this is where I want to leave it. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm going to check my chat just again to be sure that I didn't miss anything. I know that I feel like this has kind of been a chaotic reading, but a lot of interesting stuff has come through. So I hope it's been helpful for you guys. And if you want to book a reading, please send a payment through PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App for $77 or $88, whichever one you want to do. I'm also still doing email readings. I am also still doing charm readings. And yeah, you can book it through Etsy if you really want to. Etsy offers a bunch of different ways of payment. I prefer PayPal. That's my preferred. That way I can keep track of my clients and things like that for my business. But But yeah, thank you guys so much. Appreciate it so much. Wish everybody all the best. I hope to try to record again tomorrow. If you can't send any donations, that would be really, really helpful at this time. I'd appreciate it so much. And I do try to send out handwritten thank you notes to people that have donated. It means a lot to me that people donate, and really just keeps me going. So I send everyone big hugs, big kisses. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. Wish you guys all the best. All right, take care. Bye.